Prayer today, and we have our wonderful prayer team who I will be introducing them in a little bit. Thursday is Unity's annual World Day of Prayer. That means every unitic throughout the world is going to be praying on Thursday, and our church will be open all morning, and there's a schedule in your bulletin telling what we're going to be doing all that morning. And so today my message is about prayer. The music is about prayer. I'm going to introduce our beautiful prayer team and talk about all the different ways we offer prayer here at Unity. And then how about if we call forth the inner prayer practitioner in all of us? Does that sound good? Yeah. All right. I'm going to start off by showing you our prayer request slips that are on our prayer box all the time. Now in your bulletin this week, we have a special one for the World Day of Prayer. And if you fill that out, writing all the names on it, the people you would like prayer for, we send those on to Silent Unity, where they pray on the World Day of Prayer. And for 30 days, they always hold your prayer request. And so the neat thing about how simple this is, most people when they want prayer want to tell you their story. And they want to go on and on about the story. Guess what happens when you do that? Then all you focus on is the story. We want to focus on what's going to heal you, what's going to take you to a higher place. And so we've made these very simple. First of all, everything is confidential. We only get your first name. If your name is Mary, there's 100 Marys around. We don't have a clue which Mary it is. We just know Mary needs prayer for one of these things, or whatever fill in the blank you give us. Maybe it's healing, maybe it's prosperity, maybe it's guidance. And then we hold that vision. We don't hold the vision of the problem. We hold the vision of the answer to your prayer, the truth about you, and the outcome you want to see. And that's the prayer consciousness that we hold. And then we send your prayers onto Silent Unity, where they continue to pray for 30 days. It's the best deal in town. Doesn't cost a cent. And you are being held in prayer in the meditation chapel at Unity Village for 30 days. Now, Silent Unity sent a letter to our prayer team. You haven't heard it yet, so I would like to read parts of it to you. This is from Silent Unity, Unity's own 24-hour prayer line. How many people have called Silent Unity? Oh, we got a few people. Need to get you going. I double dog dare you. If you've never called Silent Unity, the numbers in the Daily Word or on our bulletin has the number. 24 hours a day, you can call them at 3 in the morning. They're in a much better mood than I am at 3 in the morning. You'll get a much better prayer. It doesn't cost a thing, and they'll pray with you whatever your prayer need is. But here's the letter, some words from that letter they sent to our beautiful prayer team. You are an inspiration and a blessing. The work you do in your community to comfort and heal, enlighten and foster peace and understanding is making a difference in the world. We are honored to be your prayer partners. Every success begins with prayer. As we pray with you and everyone you hold in prayer, we affirm that you are infused with divine ideas and creative power. Wise, loving, whole, joyous, prosperous. We envision you confident, peaceful, and centered in every interaction, assured of positive outcomes. Isn't that beautiful? We pray for you, they pray for us. We're all praying for each other. It's a great, great partnering. You know, Unity was founded on prayer. It's not just another church. It wasn't meant to be a church. Started out by people praying for each other. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, the founders, were both healed through prayer, but in very different ways. And most of you know the story. I won't go through the long stories, but Myrtle was healed through faith. She said, I'm a child of God. I do not inherit sickness. That's all she needed. She had faith that would work. Charles was a typical, logical, scientific mind. He had to know if prayer worked, it had to be scientific. Because, you know, God and science can't disagree. They're all one. So he had to prove that prayer was scientific, and he was healed as well. And together, what a great partnering of the mind and the heart, the metaphysical and the mystical, the making it happen and surrendering and allowing it to happen. Faith and science. What a beautiful partnering. They cannot contradict each other. And that's how unity began. Now when you pray, one of the most important parts about prayer is we want to be really clear what your intention is. Really clear what your intention is. Most people say, oh, I want to pray to win the lottery. I want money. I want to, well, do you want money or do you want peace of mind? Most people really want peace of mind, and they think that money will give them that. Of course, money's never given anyone peace of mind. But what do you really, if it's money, we can pray for money. That's not a problem. But if it's peace, we'll be really clear what your intention is. Do you want a new car? Or do you want the best mode of transportation for you? Maybe it's a motorcycle. Maybe it's a bus. We don't know. What is your real intention? There's no joke about the Wednesday night church service coincided with the last day of hunting season. And the minister asked, who bagged a deer? And no one raised their hand. And the minister was very puzzled. And he said, I don't get it. Last Sunday, many of you said you were missing because of hunting season. And I had the whole congregation pray for your deer. And one of the hunters groaned and he said, well, it worked. They're all safe. You've got to be real clear. Real clear. You want us to pray for the deer or for your catching? You've got to be real clear. Prayer is not a magic trick. Abracadabra, please and thank you. It's not a magic trick. And prayer isn't to heal the outer, but to heal our consciousness so that the outer will reflect our higher state of mind, to take us into truth of the one presence and the one power, not into the world of duality where we only see the lack and the limitation. The Course in Miracles has always taught, do not ask to change the world, change your mind. Heal your consciousness, and the outer heals too. Oops, let's all say that together. Oops, oops. There's really only one problem, and that's the belief in separation. Prayer heals the consciousness to the realization of your unity with God. It's the one-size-fits-all answer to every prayer. And we used to love to have the discussion at Unity Village that miracles are not really miraculous by the traditional meaning of the word. Because the traditional meaning or definition of miracle is something happened outside of natural law that could not have happened. That there's this capricious man in the sky God that says, I'm going to give one person here a miracle, the rest of you can go home. You know, that's not the way God works. Miracles are operating from a higher working of the law, from your higher self that knows the truth, that this is just an illusionary dream. There's a higher truth. Jesus said, know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Charles Fillmore said, there is absolutely nothing to heal, only something to know. The truth that will set you free. So the higher working of the law comes from that part of us, our higher self, that knows we're one with God, that knows we're whole and complete. And that's where those miracles happen. When I had my healing miracle, I left my body, I went to that place of knowing who and what I really was, came back in, and my body couldn't help but be in alignment with what I knew at that moment. That's why Eric Butterworth always says, don't pray to God. Pray from a consciousness of God. Piece of cake, right? Piece of cake, right? Well, all we have to know is to pray from truth, love, and faith. Truth, love, and faith. Here's what that means. Pray from the truth of knowing who and what you are, united with God. You are divine, not this physical being. Give love to the prayer. Give love to the person. Give love to the situation. And then have faith. Jesus said, pray believing. Pray believing. You don't get what you pray for. Did you know that? You don't get what you pray for. You get what you believe. So pray believing. The centurion's son said to Jesus, only say the word, and my son will be healed. He believed that. The woman who was bleeding knew if she touched the hem of Jesus' garment, she would be healed. And she was. She believed it. And we touch the hem of the garment whenever we go within and connect with that knowing of our higher self, that we are in union with God. The beauty of it is, you don't have to have the answers. You don't have to know how it works. And I love the saying, this one really got to me when I first came to Unity. The universe is constantly rearranging itself to accommodate your picture of reality. Oops, all together. Oops. Let's repeat, I'll say it in two parts. The universe is constantly rearranging itself together. The universe is constantly rearranging itself to accommodate my picture of reality. To accommodate my picture of reality. Now let's say it together. The universe is constantly rearranging itself to accommodate my picture of reality. Oops. Oops. Prayer is not always effective. Why is that? Well, you have to answer a few questions if your prayer doesn't appear to be answered. First of all, are you praying from the thought of separation, or are you praying from the knowing of your union with God? If you're praying from, oh, I'm all alone in this, I can't see a way out, I feel stressed, I'm afraid. No, we want to pray together I'll say it first, in union with God, I can move through this. Together, in union with God, I can move through this. See the difference? The Reverends Richard and Mary Alice Jafala, they were a wonderful couple. They used to be the former heads of Silent Unity back when I went to school, way back in the old days. And they used to say, as our awareness of the presence of God expands, prayer becomes the experience of being part of God. Wow. That's what prayer becomes. As our awareness of the presence of God expands, prayer becomes the experience of being part of God. And that's when the healings take place. And if you can't have that faith, call our prayer practitioners. They will have that faith for you. They will say it for you. They will believe it for you. Now, number 2. Are you in harmony with divine will, God's will? And are you in harmony with the highest good for your life purpose? You know, I always kid. I always prayed that I'd be a jazz singer, and anybody that's heard me sing, you know, no matter how long we pray, that is not going to happen. All right? That is not going to happen. It's got to be in harmony with your soul's purpose. It's got to be in harmony with divine will. And the law of attraction draws to us what is in harmony with your life purpose, your highest and best for your life. So when we say God's will, it sounds like a separate will. But God's will is our higher self. So God's will and our will are always one and are always for our highest and best. I am in harmony with God's will for me. Would you repeat that? I am in harmony with God's will for me. How does that make you feel? Are you scared to say that? I double dog dare you. Say it till you're not afraid. God's will and yours are one from your higher self. I'm in harmony with God's will for me. Okay. Number 3. Is it for the highest good of all? I often get requests. How do I get them to do this? How do I get them to be this, to have this? And I always say, you don't. You can't. You know, we don't interfere with another's free will. We can't. Don't we love to interfere with other people's free will? Am I the only one? What was that? I didn't hear that. You got to speak louder, okay? In union with God, they are guided through this. Let's say that together. In union with God, they are guided through this. I don't have to dictate what's best for them. Just know their union with God, and God is guiding them through this, right? Number 4. Do you have the patience to wait for the flow? You know, when they were handing out patience, I was in the food line. I didn't hear them. And, you know, the timing and the synchronicity of the universe, you got to trust that. If it's not flowing, it's not time yet. And when it's time, it will come together beautifully. Oh, what trust, what faith that takes. Number 5, you have to put your feeling into prayer. You know, in unity we say our thoughts create. But if you have a thought without the feeling behind it, it doesn't have much power. The mystical marriage is when the thoughts and the feelings are joined together, and the feeling is the power behind the words. The power. There's an old joke. What's the difference between prayer in church and prayer in a casino? In a casino, you really mean it. You feel that feeling, you really mean it. Maybe we should all go to a casino and pray. Number 6, is your own stuff blocking the flow? Nothing blocks the flow like fear or judgment or unforgiveness or feeling like you're a victim consciousness. You know, we've all been victimized, but none of us are victims. If you feel you are, it's like saying to God, I'm a victim, don't give that to me. Don't help me, I'm just being a victim here. You know? Is it your own stuff that's blocking the flow? Number 7, are you ready? You know, when Jesus went up to people to heal them, once in a while he'd say, do you want to be healed? That sounds like a stupid question, duh. But he said, do you want to be? Some people don't want it. How is it serving you? Is it serving you what's happening? Oops, all together now. Oops, oops. Prayer is universal scientific principle. And the law of attraction attracts whatever we're holding in consciousness. What are you holding in consciousness for yourself, and when you're praying for others? How are you seeing them? What are you holding for them? So many laws work together. The law of attraction, the law of forgiveness. How can God get through if you're not forgiving? The law of surrender. How can God get in if you're not letting go? No control freaks here, right? None of us do that. The law of cause and effect. Law of mind, action. What's in the mind out there? So many laws are at work in our lives. It's amazing we're able to get up in the morning. All these different laws that work, and they're there to support us. Some days it feels like they're working against us, but they're there to support us. No, we're going to let go of that, then we can lift you up. Let go of that, and it'll happen. So there's 3 basic parts to any prayer. Affirm your oneness with God. Deny that the problem has any power over you. And know that divine presence in you is overcoming this now. It's as simple as that. Your union with God, denying the problem, letting go of the fear, knowing that the divine is moving through you now, bringing you to the highest and best conclusion. And when you pray, use words that are right for you. I love the story, supposedly it's a true story, of a guy who went to a prayer practitioner. And you know, we people that like to pray, sometimes we get real long-winded and real flowery in our prayers. So this prayer practitioner gave this guy this long, flowery prayer that he was supposed to pray every day. And he took it home and he thought, gosh, it just isn't me. So every morning he'd get up and he'd look in the mirror and he'd say, oh, hell, I'm well. The guy got better. Oh, hell, I'm well. It works for me if it works for you. Put it in your own words so you feel it. It's like being in a casino. You got to feel it. Myrtle Fillmore founded Silent Unity. They're 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, round-the-clock prayer line. People call them from all over the world, all different languages. The phone number's in the Daily Word. It's in your bulletin. I double dog dare you to call Silent Unity for prayer. Meanwhile, let's introduce to you our prayer team. Before I do that, we have a Christ candle here. I'm going to light this candle.